Gentle dudes and gentler dudes. What's up? My name's Shane, and what I really wanted to do was try to carry the torch from Debo and make an witch doctor guide, but it turns out that, dude, no one can fucking carry the torch of my dog Debo. Slash, I messaged him on Reddit, wanted to talk to him, and he either didn't want to respond to me or he doesn't check Reddit. But the goal in Season 10 was to get top 100 in 4s, 3s, 2s, and solos. But turns out I probably could do it if I really wanted to, but just don't have the time commitment, kind of awkward timing of the season. And so instead of like making a guide, I think there's already really great content out there made. There's no point to reinvent the wheel. There's excellent streams and content out there for you to figure out, how and what to do. So instead, I actually wanted to make a journal because diaries are anyways. And just kind of talk about what I did like, what I didn't like, and I also kind of want to talk about the Force meta. So I was just practicing this video previously, and down here at the corner, I had like my real life friends logging in and out, and I'm sure my my little homies don't want their names to be broadcasted to the 9 people that are gonna watch this. Anyways, and also it was like 30 minutes long, so I'm gonna try to talk fast, and I'm gonna try to squeeze it down to about like 10 minutes or so. So first things first, what was awesome about this season was this little simple feature, but yet so wonderful: the armory. This is a min-maxer's dream, and actually, ironically enough, I haven't actually really gotten to really play with it as much as I totally could. But this shit's a 2-step process: click and jam. Let's go. You know what I mean? You just fucking click and go and jam. You know what I mean? That was kind of obnoxious, but yeah. So far, I really only have 3 sets. They're all Aracheers. I don't know how to pronounce that word. How are you supposed to say that? Aracheer. So I've got like a pushing build, like a 4s pushing build. I've got like a speed 4s griff set, and then I've got what kind of the community calls turbo bats for farming keys and bounties. And actually, I think actually the best farming set is Manajuma Helltooth. Couple reasons. One, it's like really easy to play. You just let your Gargs do everything. You just kind of drop a wall of deaths, and it's nice and safe. You have a lot of toughness. But I just haven't built it yet. But I also really also like the new Zunimasa. Zunimasa got buffed to where that it's kind of like old Helltooth, but you also have fetishes, and you drop Acid Cloud, which I think is pretty fun. But with Turbo Bats, you have to like spam haunt and aim your fire bats because you use plague bats and turbo bats. And I know that's like kind of first world problems, but it's kind of actually a pain in the dick. And so my take about Helltooth is, before Helltooth was really, really good, it's what I wanted. It's what I thought that I wanted. But then after like several seasons of Gargs doing all your damage, it was actually kind of miserable. So I'm really glad that the fire bats kind of took over and became a lot stronger. So I like the Gargs in like farming builds, because when you look at like your passively playing or whatever, but in actual sets I like it to be like more, not mechanically intense, because Diablo isn't really like intense mechanics, but more like more involved, rather than literally just walking around every 5 seconds casting like piranhas or Wall of Death. Anyways, the armory is so sweet. You don't have to. This is like kind of like a threefold thing. Like, you don't have to make additional characters. You don't have to worry about your gems being all doing the flip flopperoo, and it's just so simple. You just like, and also if you just enjoy playing one set, like for example, I thoroughly enjoy playing Jade. I just haven't set it up this season. But if I just wanted to smash out some bounties or like do some GRs or rush a bro, and I can just smash some Jade, and you can mix the game up, and then you can really play like all 4 of your sets, or even like a long spec or whatever, and you really get to see like all aspects of the game. When really the past like 9 seasons and on, you really like, if you wanted to play a different spec, it was like kind of a huge pain in the dick to like switch all your shit and redo the gems and like log on different characters and like do all this and that. So This is obvious. I know you guys already know this. I'm just basically like retelling you what you already feel. What I don't still like about the seasons is set dungeons. Holy shit. Those are so miserable and so dumb. It's not that I don't like challenges. I love challenges. Challenges are sick. It's why all of us play games, because we like challenges. We don't like poorly designed challenges. It's just not intuitive, and I can't believe they make you play it. And I just honestly like kind of get miserable, like kind of get depressed thinking about how much I hate set dungeons. But I actually really do like primals this season, and it was actually kind of funny. My very first primal this season, I think I've only gotten like 3 or 4 maybe, but this was my first one. Fucking primal ancient legendary Templar relic. Dude, I know that everyone else is doing the same thing, like getting garbage primals at their first, but it's just funny. Like, dude can't die. Following stats: Vit, resist all, chance of block, life after kill. Like, fucking miserable. Perfect strength, great. He does 0 damage. Anyways, yeah, I'm not even wearing any primal gear, but I do like the overall concept of primals. All right, time check, so I know like how we're doing here. Oh, I check time. I guess I just can't check time. I'm bad and new at making videos. Talked about things I liked, things about things we didn't like. Oh, and I want to talk about the fours meta. So the fours meta this season is fine. It's not great, but I guess I'm trying to stray away from the word good. But actually, what I do think is it's good actually. Obviously, ideally, I think the fours meta would only be 1 Z DPS, and I think the ability for that 1 Z DPS should be like maybe at least 2 or 3 different types of classes. But right now, you basically have to have monk and you have to have barb, and not a lot of people really enjoy playing Z barb or even Z monk for that matter. People want to play DPS and stuff, and I actually wouldn't mind playing Z DPS, but I play Witch Doctor literally every season. Ever since the game came out, I even have, dude, I'm not gonna pull this up, but I have a Witch Doctor mouse pad that I ordered right before Diablo 3 came out like a billion years ago. I'm just like a fan of the Witch Doctor. I played every season. So, and I played Witch Doctor when they were absolute garbage. Okay, so I like feel entitled to, now that the Witch Doctor is really good, I'm like excited, and I really like playing them now that they're like almost mandatory in GRs now. I'm sure some people hate that. Eat a dick. Can I say that? Eat a dick? I guess I can. I just did, I guess. Alright, so the fours meta. 2 Z DPS, a Firebat Witch Doctor, and then one of the following: a Wizard, DPS Monk, or DH. In my fours we play with a DH. I quite like it quite a bit. I'm sure a Wizard's pretty good, and I'm sure a Monk's pretty good, fine too. They all have their like strengths and weaknesses. But what I did like is the dynamic of the fours group, and I think the gameplay is relatively fun. For example, the Barb is kind of like your quarterback, like your point guard. He's sort of kind of drives the group into going like where to go, where to stop, what to take, what not to take, what direction. You know, he's got the NIMS, and so he's hitting the pylons and sort of directing traffic there. And so I actually think all good groups need a good Z Barb, because they really kind of set the pace and set and make like, is kind of like the shot caller in my opinion. All of the other roles have really straightforward roles that they just like have one job and that's what they do. But the Barb, everything they do is sort of like in context to the map and the layout and the mob type, and they're really taking it all in. That's just my opinion. Like for example, the monk basically follows the Witch Doctor, Cyclone Strike, spam mantras, tries to not get stuck on mobs, basically just hitting all of his buttons, walking around. Not that the role is not important, it very much is, and you can really min-max that role, but it's definitely as like straightforward as just like always cyclone striking inside to the bats, and spamming out your and making sure you keep your team alive there. And then the DH job is basically just to kill the Rift Guardian in like 2 minutes or less, which is a cool role because Witch Doctor is so bad at killing the Rift Guardian, and I can't really speak too much to wizards, but I think that they can probably kill a Rift Guardian pretty quickly. But the DH is functionally like just a third Z DPS, basically kind of like pulling mobs, debuffing mobs. I'm sure applying some damage amplification. I think Wolf Companion does some damage amp. And also really helping out with some of the champions and the elites if you decide to kill them in the first place. And then the Witch Doctor's role is basically just like killing all the chaff. That's it. Just going to the packs that the barb pulls, sitting in the middle, dotting everything, and just taking down the packs nice and efficient. So my little guide for this whole video, my little 30-second words of wisdom about playing Witch Doctor, which took me a little bit to actually kind of master, is that you really just want to maximize your 4-second window during Convention of Elements during fire. And so there's so much time in between moving between packs, casting Locust Swarm, trying to get Locust Swarm on everything, and casting Haunt on everything, and then making sure that you're spinning on red in your fire convention. Because if you're not, you're going to be just losing so much damage. And actually, I hate Convention of Elements. I hate that it's so good. It's really not that fun. I guess that's subjective, but it's just kind of an annoying mechanic. It doesn't really feel very Diablo-esque. Also, my opinion, that's fine if you think it's cool. I'm just really hoping for the days when it gets cycled out or something more powerful comes in. I didn't really mind or hate Focused Restraint that much. I really do hate that Traveler's Pledge Compass Rose is so good, because it's kind of boring. I mean, it's fine. I guess it's okay. I'm not really complaining. I guess I'm more excited when other things get buffed above it to when that will maybe have either more options or just something different. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on maximizing the Witch Doctor, is making sure that you're constantly buffing and moving and casting Hex, not during your fire convention, and also just kind of like balancing, like keeping all your Soul Harvest stacks up, making sure that you have the 4-piece Ericheer set bonus going from Hex, and making sure that all the mobs are debuffed. And then the last word of advice actually goes to every group. This is not just Witch Doctor specific. And actually, this is probably the biggest advice I have, is learn from our mistakes. And when in question to skip an elite or champions, you should probably just do it. Like, I was always real stubborn. Like, for example, like if we got an elite down to like 30% or whatever, it's definitely sunken cost fallacy trying to like finish out that one elite like at 30% or whatever, have the values at whatever. It's better just like go to a different rift or go to another pack of mobs. It's like 4+% way better. It takes like a fifth of the time to kill, rather than to try to kill the elite packs. I know it's season 10. You vets already know this. Certainly you guys know like when to go and when to skip. And we always kind of keep on like learning the hard way about not skipping things. But I think what I've finally landed on is like if someone says, "Yo, should we skip this?" Yeah, just skip it. Definitely. All right. All right. I think I've rambled kind of enough. I would really enjoy to do additional Diablo content. I think I really would like to do some Season 11 content. Season 10 didn't really work out timing wise, but the necro patches, I think that's gonna maybe invigorate the game a little bit. Maybe some people might come back and play it and might get a little bit bigger. I'm not saying it's gonna be like a huge game or whatever, or like huge again, but I do think that Every season, Blizzard really adds something pretty cool, whether it be like balance changes or with this season with the primals and the armory. I'm excited basically every 3 months to play the new season. So hopefully we'll see you again. Thanks. Take it easy.